What's going on, everyone? So it has been confirmed that Ghostface will be in the upcoming Scream 7. And with Ghostface being in the upcoming Scream movie, one of the big things that we need is, motive, uh, epic kills, right? I like the more darker, brutal, toned type of Ghostface, right? Like I like how Scream 5 and 6 has kind of approached Ghostface, where not really the playful Ghostface, not really messing around, just kind of getting in, getting out, handling business. Right? Like you look at Scream 5 and 6, it wasn't a lot of like foreplay, right? It was just kind of like, let me get in, quick kills, surprise kills. Like I like that. I like that brutality. I like because I think it's a little more realistic, right? Like if you're hunting somebody down and you're tracking them down, like you're not going to give them a chance to escape or anything like that. You want to just get in, take them out, be done, and move on. But we've kind of also had this trend where Ghostface loves to, create a requel or a sequel, or they're tying into the past, or they're using the Stab movies as reference and trying to recreate a Stab film, and all these just silly things, in my opinion, if I'm being honest. Um, and it's something that I've wanted them to kind of move away from. It's something that I've talked about. Like, can we get some freshness in that regard? We don't need to have every single Scream movie kind of be the same old, where you're like, all right, like we've seen this before. Right? Like I want a Scream movie that kind of has a different perspective and has a different motive and isn't just trying to replicate what we've seen 1,000 times, and is approaching things in a different manner. And we got new news and new rumors. Again, I should say rumors, not news, because everything is a rumor until it's actually been confirmed. But um word is that Ghostface, or Ghost Faces, in this upcoming Scream movie, however many there are, that's the approach that they're going to take. It's not going to be killers trying to do a sequel, that are not trying to do a requel, that are not trying to follow the Stab um films as like material to kind of like learn how to be Ghostface, because that's how all the other killers have kind of failed. And so I like that, right? Like let's move away. I liked the Stab gimmick to some degree, right? Like I know some people are really like hit or miss with the Stab thing, right? Like I thought Scream 4 kind of got a little carried away, with the like, stab within a stab within a stab. Like I think after like the first one, it was like cool, and then I think it kind of got carried away. Scream 3 kind of went full like almost New Nightmare style. Like it was kind of, it literally was following Stab and, you know, killing people from the film and stuff. So, like, okay, fine, we did that. If you want to have like a reference or a little note, or like I thought like Richie in Scream 5, just kind of like watching on his computer like a YouTube video about Stab, right? Like, cool, like something like that, like a nice little subtle kind of Easter egg or something about Stab. Like if somebody was wearing like a Stab shirt or something like that, like I would love that. Like I'm cool with that. But like when you start getting a little carried away, you start getting a little over the top, and it kind of becomes this like thing where like that kind of becomes your whole movie. It's like, well, why? Right? The first time, sure, but it's like now it's just like this keeps being a thing. And like it's just, even in Scream 6 you had some of that, right? Like we need to keep, with like Jason and Greg, it's like we need to, keep it alive and stuff. And then, you had, Dermot Mulroney's character, Detective Bailey, right? Like he's like revenging his son, but he like, he's created this whole Stab shrine and all these like, you know, the shrine room and all that. So it's just like, okay, like I thought, look, I don't have any problems with it, but like we did it. Let's move on. Let's go a different direction, right? Like we don't need to have Ghostface always trying to follow the footsteps of the previous Ghostface. To me, I'd like to see a Ghostface or Ghostfaces where it's like, here's just fresh new take, right? Like I've even talked about, right? Like just have them be crazy, right? Like So again, I talked about the other day in a video, which if you haven't seen it, go check it out, about like the trend seems to be hate, right? Like Sydney's hated in the new town. Ghostface appeared to be targeting Sydney because they just kind of hate her. Which I've talked about. Like, you don't necessarily need some real rhyme, reason, or motive to go after Sydney Prescott, right? It's just, again, it's something where it's just your Ghostface, she's your white whale, take her out, right? Like, that's a big thing. But I like the idea of it's just like, we're Ghostface, we hate her, we want to kill her, right? Like, you don't need some crazy over the top thing. Like, sometimes the simple answer is the correct answer. Sometimes simplicity sells, right? Sometimes you just, like, I'm not saying don't have a motive at all, but the motive doesn't need to be something where it's like, oh, we want to bring back Stab, and best way to bring back Stab is to take out Sydney, and if we take out Sydney, right, they'll make new Stab movies because, like, okay, can we not do that? Like, can we go? Like, I like, assuming these rumors are true, I'm kind of liking these rumors, right? It kind of sounds like, now if we kind of piece it together here, it kind of sounds like, okay, Sydney and her family are going to be targets. There's going to be new people that are also going to be targets, right? Sydney's a target because Ghostface just wants to kill her. Perfect. Right? Again, you don't need some crazy explanation. And you have her hated by the community, so you got tons of people that maybe potentially could have motive, and you can have as multiple red herrings. You get this nice little family dynamic that we haven't really gotten in Scream before. Ghostface is going to be, menacing. It's just, to me, I look at it and I just go, man, like, this is something that could, if done correctly, really shape up to be a legitimate, just maybe better received Scream film than the past two, right? Like, let's get away from kind of the photocopies, like, yes, Scream 5 and 6, like, they did different things, but also a lot of it was just the same old, same old. A lot of it was still, what we've seen in Scream 96 and Scream 2, right? Like, yeah, they might have done it in a slightly different manner, but ultimately it was still the same idea, right? And how many times can we use the stab thing? How many times does a brother's cousin's nephew uncle want to kill Sydney? How many times? It's like, okay, like, how many times can you just keep rehashing this? At what point do you just go, all right, like, maybe we should try something different? Like, hey, Phil, what do you think? Like, nah, keep it this. Like, it's just, at some point, it's like, can we be a little more creative here, right? And I'm hoping with Kevin Williamson now being the director, and this kind of being his baby and his brainchild, maybe he can kind of steer the ship a little bit. Maybe he can kind of steer things in a positive direction to kind of put us in a better position as far as like what we could get from a new adaptation of Scream, right? Like, I don't want them to get so far removed that it doesn't feel like a Scream film, right? I want them to still keep it what it is. Like, I don't want like, zombie Ghostface coming from the dead to take out Sydney and like, no, I want it within the scope of Scream and within the realism and whatnot. But get a little creative, do different things. Let's try some stuff. Live a little. Right? Let's live life on the edge a little bit here, right? Like, you don't have to again keep doing the same thing. It's like, it's like the definition of insanity. You do something over and over again, expect a different result. It's just, I to me, just keep it simple. Right? Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it focused. Let's tell a good story. Let's build good characters. Right? Like, do the things necessary to really kind of trot along a quality Scream film. And I'm pumped. I'm excited. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you feel that Ghostface should move off of the stab stuff, move off of the, kind of the same old as far as like what we've gotten in recent films? Or do you think like, no, like, like that's kind of the direction we've gone, kind of stick to the direction, like don't really change stuff up, just keep it, what Scream is. Do you like the idea of there being some heavy motive or something? again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.